Guys, I'm going back to another adventure YouTube video, and if you haven't already guessed by the title and this video background, I look blue. It's because I'm in terrible light. The light is up there. I'm right here. I'm gonna poop. That's a bit, if that makes it look any better. Okay, yeah. But now I have to talk quite loudly to make sure the phone picks up everything that I'm saying. So yeah, today obviously isn't a Bed Wars video. So yeah, I'm in my room, but the internet is not yet working, so unable to do Bed Wars video today, but I still wanted to get a video out there. So I thought now would be a good time to offer you my early predictions for the upcoming Premier League season. So what I've done is I've made 5 groups to group teams. So the groups are top 4. It's not saying that I think that the team will finish in the top 4 by saying that, even though in my predictions I've only categorised 4 teams as thinking, you know, they'll make the top 4. Next category is Europa League. It's teams that I think will fight for that position. Then it's top half, so teams I think will fight for the top half. Mid-table is teams that I think will comfortably avoid relegation. And then the next category is relegation, so teams that I think will either be relegated or will be in a relegation battle. So we're gonna go through every team. I'm gonna say what I've put them as and why I've put them as it. Okay, so in a very particular order, aka alphabetically, we will begin. So we start with Bournemouth, who I've put as mid-table. This is because I think they are a very good side. They don't have the players to like really compete at a really high level. I mean, they're well good enough to stay in the Prem, and I could well be wrong on my mid-table prediction. They could still get top half. I mean, Eddie Howe's done a fantastic job there, no doubt about it. Yeah. Anyways, next team, Arsenal. This is a big one. Do I think Unai Emery is going to bring Champions League football back to Arsenal? The answer is no. I've put them as Europa League because I think this first season is just for Arsenal about stabilising themselves, because they've been on a bit of a decline. They just need to stabilise themselves, make sure they get at least a Europa League spot, and then next season push for a Champions League spot. Now next up I've got Brighton. This one might come as a bit of a surprise to you. I've put them for relegation. Now this is because I looked at all the teams and I thought, are Brighton better than 3-4 of these teams? And quite frankly, I don't think so. I mean, if you look at the list, I could probably only say maybe Cardiff and Fulham. That Brighton are maybe better than. I know Brighton are like really good defensively and stuff, which should help them. So yeah. Next up is Burnley. They were last season's big surprise package. Everyone thought they'd be in a mid-table or relegation battle, but they finished 7th. So yeah, I I don't think they'll get the Europa League football next season once again. I think they will get a top half or fight for a top half finish. This is because there are teams coming now that are going to challenge Burnley. So, next up is Cardiff, the first of the newly promoted teams. Now, unsurprisingly, I think they'll be in a relegation battle. I don't know too much about Cardiff, but personally, I don't think they are good enough to play in the Prem. I mean, but they could be. They could be last season's Huddersfield, I suppose. I mean, everyone thought they'd get relegated in the Championship, and then ended up coming up to the Prem. So who knows? Next up is Chelsea, another interesting one because they are going through a period of change at the club. Got rid of Conte, brought Sarri in. Now, I think they'll get Europa League. I don't really rate Sarri. I don't think he's that good. And yeah, but for Chelsea, how do I say it? Like Sarri's trying to change to a back to a four at the back system. So it's going to take time to get used to that. In that time, results probably aren't going to be as good, so Chelsea are probably going to have to play catch up. And even so, there's lots of rumours about players leaving, like Hazard and Willian and Morata. So if these players go, what will Chelsea do? They brought, I think it was Jorginho in. So yeah, anyways, moving on. So Crystal Palace now. I think they're going to be in a relegation battle. I don't think Roy Hodgson is going to be able to take them anywhere, but they should be just good enough to survive, but I think they'll be in the relegation battle. Next up is Everton. Another team with a new manager in Marco Silva. It is bugging me to just look at myself and be looking blue. I mean, just annoys me, like could I move this anywhere else? The only thing is I'm looking at notes on my laptop that I've wrote, because I just couldn't find paper and pen near me, so I just wrote everything on my laptop. So, anyways, I've put Everton as top half. I think Silver will do a good job there. I think they'll just do the same position as they did under Allardyce, probably, which I believe was 9th. So yeah, anyways, next up we've got another promoted team in Fulham. This was one of the hardest ones to predict, and I've put them down for mid-table. I think they're definitely good enough to survive, even if they've lost Fredericks, who came to West Ham. Yeah, but they brought in some really good players, and specifically Seri, or whatever his name was. So yeah, I think they're too good to be relegated again. The only thing that could be a problem for them is that their coach, their manager, sorry, Jukanovic, he's never managed in the Prem before, I don't believe, so I don't know if he'll be able to like handle it or not. So next up we've got Huddersfield. This one was a bit of an obvious one to pick, and I've put them in a relegation battle because, I mean, how they survived last year was amazing. Like, and their squad was probably the worst in the league, but they just managed to get the results that they needed. And, I mean, particularly at the end of the season when they got draws against Man City and Chelsea. Not many teams can do that. So yeah, anyways, next up is Leicester. Now, this one could be subject to change, as obviously the rumours about the exits of Maguire, although it doesn't seem like Leicester are going to let him leave. They've already lost Mahrez. I still think they'll get top half. No, they'll fight for it, but they won't do as good as last season. So yeah, next up we've got the first side I've put for top 4, Liverpool. Yeah, they've brought in some, no doubt, fantastic players like Keita and Fabinho, and they've finally got a keeper in Alisson. It should be a very good solid season for Liverpool. And can they end their 28-year wait for a title? Only time will tell. Yeah, this is really bugging me looking at the house. Blue. But I don't really have any other alternatives. We'll just manage. So yeah. Next up is Man City, last season's champions. I do think they'll probably retain the title. And yeah, I don't really think they've brought anyone that notable in. I don't believe so. But I mean that the squad already is fantastic, so would they really need any new players or not is up for debate. So next up is Man United, who I've also put top 4. I don't see them doing any different to last season, to be honest. They haven't really bought anyone in who's likely to be a game changer. I mean, the only big player they've really bought in is Fred. Don't see him really changing anything. So yeah, next up is Newcastle. So they had a really good run at the end of last season, which saw them get the top half. Now, this one could be subject to changes. Rafa's future is always seemingly in question at Newcastle. I mean, also the sale of the club. It's just you don't know what's going on at Newcastle. So yeah, I've put them as top half. Again, I think they will get it because I think Rafa will today, and I think he'll have another good season there. So now, next up was another tricky one to pick, Southampton. So they seemed destined for relegation last season with Pellegrino. Then they brought Mark Hughes in, and he just managed to scrape a few results at the end and just about keep them up, sending Swansea down in the process. So yeah, I think Mark Hughes will help keep them clear of a relegation battle this time around. Yeah, they're good enough to not get relegated, but not good enough to get top half or anything. Next up is Spurs, so the last team I've predicted to get top 4, which I hate to say. I mean, unless Real like swoop in for Kane or something as a replacement for Ronaldo, I can't really see anything changing for Spurs. Although I think this time Liverpool will finish above them. So next up is Watford. So they started really well last season with Marco Silva, but then this Everton thing got his head turned and Watford were just declining, and then he got sacked and they brought Gracia in to just try and steady the ship a bit, and he did that. And yeah, I think it'll just be a mid-table season for Watford. Don't see Gracia as anyone special who'll like take them to dizzying new heights or whatever, but I think he's good enough to keep them clear of relegation, anything like that. So now next up is the penultimate team and the best team in the league, West Ham. So it's been a big summer of change at West Ham. Bought Pellegrini in, spent 95 million on about 7 players, I think. And so yeah, Pellegrini is a fantastic manager. I think he'll get us Europa League football. Probably only like 7th place finish, but we've seen throughout his career what he can do. I mean, he took over at Malaga and in one season took them from a relegation threatened side to a Champions League side. So yeah, and last of all is Wolverhampton Wanderers, or Wolves as they're called. So they've got some fantastic players, and they've brought in some good ones too, like Martinho, and I think they brought in Patricio too. Ow, just kicked something. So yeah, I think Wolves, they'll fight for the top half. They seem like a really good side, this Wolves side do. Anyways, that's it for my predictions. I'm going to go take it into light so you can see a good to my face. Right. Okay, that's better. So, hope you've enjoyed this video. Should be back with another Bed Wars video, hopefully tomorrow, and if so, I will see you then. If not, then it'll be a different video, but I don't know what. So anyways, that's it for this video. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, feel free to obliterate that. Feel free to obliterate the like button, and if you're not already, subscribe to NerdBenji for more videos like this. And that's it for this video. See you in the next one. Goodbye.